Alrighty, welcome back. The CoinStack community, soon to change, but CoinStack for now. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope the last 2 weeks have been good to you, and I hope that this Friday is a peaceful one for you guys. You guys are into the weekend. As promised, I have the one and only great Repo with me on this video update. Hopefully, I get to keep him from all of them, but don't get used to it. He's a busy man. And today's gonna be a little bit more of a lax video. It's gonna be more talking, not a lot of demonstrations, but there's a lot of content we want to get through. And thanks to one of our team members, Amy, she did a great job of organizing the talking points that she wanted us to go over for you guys to make sure that you guys get a full concept of what's going on, what's been done, what's progression has occurred, and more importantly, keep you guys up to date on where we are. Development wise as a project, and then progression wise as a group. So starting off from the top. So as I said, I'm going to read off notes that I have. So I do apologize. I'm not looking directly into the camera. But some new updates. So hardware wise, Repo and I have secured the 4 terabyte hardware local server that we're going to use as one of the storage units that are going to house the WeHub space and the WeHub chat, and then certain elements of other ecosystems as a starting storage capacity. Obviously, we're going to expand that, especially since we're going to venture into the WeHub video, so on and so forth. And capacity and broadband is going to be the name of the game. But to start, we have secured yet another server. This one's again 4 terabytes, and Repo, if you're going to correct me, I believe it's 100 megabyte connection, or is that the 1 gig?
No, the one that you're talking about is the one that we're going to be buying next. The one that we just bought it's a 2 terabyte with a 1 gig connection speed.
Okay, so I had it backwards. So the four terabytes, 100, the 2 terabytes, the gig. The gig is going to be for these applications that have, they've not have, but require faster broadband. Things such as the chat, the social media platform, so on. So anything that needs quick refreshes, that's going to be the server for that. And then the other one is going to be the basis for the video. So there's that. So that's hardware wise. So now we start off with just a couple. Now we're up to 3, soon to be 4, because I acquired a local server from an auction. A good friend of mine in church gave me a great deal on one, and that is a 8 terabyte tower server that used to be owned by a Pines charter school here near me in local South Florida. So that is just some hardware specs that we want to let you guys know. Like I mentioned in the chat, speaking with Dean and a couple of the team, not team community members, but I did mention the team members. The more capacity that we can get before, obviously, we increase our clientele, the more capacity we have to work with, and we can adjust and fine tune and optimize how the files get configured and how the space is used for the long term. I also want to talk about ownership and possession of domains. So up to this point, we have, if I'm not mistaken, and Amy in the chat, Crypto Queen, and you guys know her in Discord, will correct me, I'm sure, when she watches this video. I believe we have now 14 domains, and we have the naming rights already for all the platforms that we intend to launch under the WeHub asset. And that's going to tie into the next talking point, which is the branding. So CoinStack is going to eventually roll into WeHub just so that the naming is consistent and it's uniform across the platforms, and there's no confusion between the token and the IP/use cases that are being rolled out for you guys to use. We also were able to find code to, better said, a source base and a GitHub that offered code to allow us to provide a multimedia focused more on video and chat to add to our collection of use cases. So going back to last week's update where I demonstrated the flowchart on what's being built, within each intermediary step, there are little things that we're going to plug in to obviously make it more user-friendly and give you guys a better low click environment that allows you to get to our other assets from the main hub, which would be the social media platform and website, and then branch out to our other IPs as they get rolled out. So think of it as a not one-stop solution, but if you're on our main site, you'll be able to access all the other sites, as like external links slash supplementary use cases and platforms that support the main website. So it's going to be a little bit more inclusive in that regard. We're also looking to reach out to alternative video sites such as Rumble and BitChute and incorporate them into our platform so that we have the growing alternative media average viewer and watcher, because a lot of people are leaving YouTube and are leaving Twitter and Facebook, and they're attracted to these alternative platforms. I would mention Parler, but it seems that they tend to be the victims in a lot of cyber attacks. So BitChute and Rumble are already crypto friendly, and there's a lot of bridges with the new code that we're building, which Repo will have more stuff for you guys on that end. And then some of the IPs that we already have built up from the previous projects, they integrate seamlessly, and there's already native plugins as well, because the website will be, part of it will be WordPress based. So continuing through the notes, another addition that we're going to be adding to that flowchart, which the new flowchart I will provide in the update. So when I upload this link, I will upload as well the imagery of the new flowchart, so you guys can see what exactly I'm referring to when I mention this IP or that IP or this use case versus that use case, which is WeHub Games. So I was able to acquire a bunch of APK files. For those who don't know, that is the Android / Google Play Store equivalent of the Apple Store, and it's geared towards games and any mobile, really not games, but mobile platform items that are built, or mobile applications that are obviously native to the Android network, or Android system, better said. I was able to acquire a bunch of APKs that are centered around gaming, and I believe that will offer us at least a small but robust collection of games that get the ball rolling. There's a lot of them arcade games and classics like pinball, Pac-Man, so on and so forth, but there's also some more, complex games like some RPG games that I've mentioned in the past, and some racer games. They're not going to be anything out of this world. Don't expect AAA title, but again, you'll be able to use your assets that you have acquired to gain in-game currency and tokens to use on the WeHub platform station, for lack of better words. So that allows us to convey two different use cases. One, micropayment option, using our crypto as such. And then it allows us also to cross over into all the other IPs. You can use the same credit in your social media platform, your video platform, your chat platform. So if you buy one credit here, it's also usable in other platforms. That's the beautiful thing about the chain that we're building. It's not only is it scalable, it's very, very friendly to be used as a payment option due to its low fees. And again, Repo will go into more details later on in this video, but it's gonna allow all our platforms to have some sort of like connection outside of their uses. We're gonna have the crypto element that brings them together even more. So there's a lot of synergy. In regards to promotions, I already mentioned one individual that was looking to promote us to her connections and social media outlets, particularly the alternative media. But other people like herself are coming on board to help us once we get the ball rolling in regards to some platform launching and they see the chain, especially when we demo. I have a couple people that I've, because of my day job as a marketing coordinator and a project manager, I have had the ability to talk to numerous clients on my end that are looking at crypto as, again, a alternative investment option and are looking to spread the word locally here in the South Florida region, which is one of the more populated, areas of the United States. So Hopefully I get to gain some organic foot traffic and allow us to garner a market here, however niche it may be. But a new member is a new member, and a potential investor is just that, potential investor. In regards to the roadmap and things being released, when I upload the image, I will tell you once again, it's the releases are going to be clockwise. So I'll just go back to the old update video from 2 weeks ago, but the releases are going clockwise. We're going to do them pretty much in the style of what already has been built / pre-built from the previous Kubo and LSR community library, and then what has to be built on top of that, or something that's been completely, brand new from the start, or has been acquired from a different GitHub, and we put our own twist on it to obviously implement it into our ecosystem. Either which way, when you look at the chart, clockwise is the release, unless stated. I will also release, once I have some more tentative and confirmed dates, a progressive roadmap that'll let you guys know, okay, this project will be released beta this day, release this day, full launch this day. That way it allows us to have time to interact with you guys, fix any bugs, and then obviously release a more polished, finished product for you guys to use. So not everything that you're going to see that gets rolled out is from zero. So don't expect things to be like, oh yeah, this is a 5-year roadmap. We could potentially knock everything out within a year and a half. It just depends on how everything progresses, community involvement, feedback, developers that we onboard, life, and a bevy of other small multiples and variables that can come together to make a perfect storm and allow us obviously to produce the best quality work at the most reasonable pace. Then going through the notes, so I do apologize. Again, a talking point that I want to emphasize is the main point that we're trying to push across all our platforms and all the use cases that we're going to be bringing for our chain that's built on Substrate is freedom of expression and giving the individual that participates, in the ecosystem the ability to interact, share, upload, and I think more importantly, express themselves in any avenue that they deem is necessary for others to engage that have similar ideas and mindsets. Because at the end of the day, that's the name of the game in crypto. It's an alternative to the pre-established financial sector that's brick and mortar, black and white, has its rules and regulations that are just not working. United States is a perfect example of that. Are we the best loser in the group? Yes, I believe the United States is, but you're still a loser. The fact that we are trillions of dollars in debt shows that. The fact that we have so many people, unfortunately, being deplatformed for sharing an opinion that may go against a common political culture or PC culture, as many people shorthand it. It's not good, given that we have a Bill of Rights that protect your freedom of speech, unless you're inciting violence, or unless you're inciting some sort of violence towards another American or citizen. And I believe, though it's an American right, I believe it's a universal right. I think every man, woman, and child should have the right to express themselves, as long as it's not, again, inciting harm. I know a lot of people use that loosely, but I genuinely do mean that. Among other rights, the second most important to me being the right to bear arms. So I just want people to have the freedom to express themselves and know that when they're in our ecosystem, myself and the team, myself and the community, and more importantly, us and those that we connect with are going to have the ability to express. They're going to have that freedom. And we're going to do our very best to keep everything decentralized, even though everything is sync and has connections and it all is going to blend well in a turnkey style. It is all about the end user being able to express themselves in a medium that doesn't get restricted because one day I woke up and I didn't like the way you thought about this particular topic or this political stance. Which I believe is what I believe is severely lacking, unfortunately, in the bigger media platforms, and especially in the mainstream media that we have, at least here in the United States. And I'm not going to speak for abroad because I'm not abroad. And with the plugins that we're looking to use, we're going to try to integrate already pre-established platforms, like I mentioned earlier, BitChute and Rumble. Why? Because we're at this point in time, nobody's. So being able to attach ourselves with names that already have some sort of reputation, some sort of affinity already towards them, allows us to dig into that share of clientele and hopefully, bring onto our side some people that not only do they want to use an alternative media platform, but they also may have an interest in crypto, or they may have an interest in development, or maybe they have an interest in gaming. And we're just one more avenue. We're one more option that we're putting ourselves out there and hoping that people obviously choose us versus the competition. And the way we do that is, again, cheap fees when we send, usable wallet, usable asset, usable use cases and platforms, not limiting the ability for an individual to express themselves, providing the best customer support that we can, creating a niche but fostering community that welcomes all that are obviously within the same mindset and want to share, create, and add value to what we're doing. And then most importantly, obviously, consistency between us providing you guys content, updates, developments, and then you guys providing us feedback, input, and obviously supporting us throughout the way. So we want to bring you guys items. We want to bring items to a market, and we're only going to do that as long as you guys support us. Don't think that those 1 or 2 likes me and Repo don't see. We see everything. We read all the chats every day. Sometimes I don't reply to is not because I don't want to. It's because between day job, developing with Repo, talking with different people with Repo, which Repo will talk about in his share, meeting with potential people that might, be an asset down the road, or if I'm doing stuff with Mr. Silver Fox at the Patriot Exchange, I only have so many hours. I do have to sleep. I do have to eat. And until we're multimillionaires, I don't have someone that can take certain things from me. Plus, I still want to have that personal touch. I never want to teach you guys like an automated system. So we're here for you. And I hope that you guys are here for us, every step of the way. So with that, I'm going to stop talking. Repo, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. That was very good spoken. One thing I want to get to is the chain. Since it's a very unique chain and we're making it our way, we are not literally just copying, pasting, and rebranding a current chain or current platform. This is a unique chain. We are building the way we want. So it is going to take longer. It's going to take more testing. Since we're wanting to do parachains, basically running 2 chains side by side, or even more chains. It all depends on whoever wants to bring a chain over. Man, they could go ahead and just basically slap one up and start running it. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it user-friendly, developer-friendly, and trying to document every little thing, every little error that we run into. We want to document it. So somebody that wants to build with us and they run into that thing or that problem, they could go back and look at that error and says, okay, this is how we fixed it, or this is what I did, and I made this error, and I'm going to fix this. So with working with this code, it is user-friendly, it's developer-friendly, and the community of the base framework is great. We did have a meeting with one of their core guys over the week. Very, very nice guy.
Jimmy Chu is the developer is referring to. Great guy.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. And he brought up some really good ideas because we were talking to him on what we're wanting to do. And we're talking about how to integrate things that we didn't think of that we could possibly integrate our coin into that we didn't think we could. So I'm going to have to talk to him, get more of a detail on it. So even if it's not integratable, there's still going to be some small features that we can integrate into our chain that it wouldn't be possible with any other any other framework. Doesn't matter what it is, it wouldn't have been possible except for this. So that it makes it very, very unique. Once we get this done, get it beta tested before launch, I thought about this idea. I brought it up to a few other people. I would like to do a hackathon. I would offer, maybe $100 reward if somebody could, exploit it and gain a bunch of coins. As long as they sit there, exploit it, and then come up with a patch and verify it, and have everything documented, then they would get that reward money. Yeah. So I think that would be a good idea to go to do. When to have this, I don't know yet, since we're still coding the main framework for ourselves. So that's something I want to bring up in the future, a good old-fashioned hackathon. I think that would bring in a lot of people, a lot of developers. Then I was also want to talk about the WeHub chat. What it is, that's the server that we just got. We got it tied. We got the domain and the server tied together. So hopefully this weekend we'll be able to start working on that. I'm hoping it's going to be a quick deal, just to get it ready for the beta testers. It's a very, very, very good, because you could do video, you could do calls on it, you could do end-to-end encryption. No other platform does that. Especially on the desktop, you could do it on the desktop, you could do it through the web, you could do it through mobile apps.
And web apps.
Yeah, web app. It's basically like a Telegram / WhatsApp on steroids, but it's also lightweight.
Yeah.
And if you encrypt it, the information that it encrypts, not even the server owners could decrypt it. Only the chat admins will have access to that. And whoever's in that chat is able to see it.
Correct.
So anything from out there, it's all encrypted. So it's very secure. And I think that's going to sit there and win a lot of the privacy people over. Especially.
Just as a side note, that's going to be our developer Neil working on that. So obviously he's not in the Discord. He's in our private chat with myself, Repo, and a couple other key members. So once we put it out for beta, if you do have feedback, obviously provide it back. Now, there's some people who volunteer to be beta testers on the DEX, the DEX version of the WeHub Exchange. I did not forget about you guys. I got 3 DMs. I don't know about you, Repo, but I got 3 DMs. Those people, we did not forget about you. You guys are getting an invite this week. We were just putting together certain items. Right. Neil, you're the one working on the chat option. Just so you know.
Let me see. So I hope everybody likes what they're seeing. They're liking our conversations on what we're doing. We're showing our work basically, and I hope everybody likes that. You can check out our GitHub channel. That way you get to see all the comments and the links also to different frameworks I'm working with. That you'll see multiple ones. So what I'm doing is that I'm taking the best and what I want. Don't forget, I'm still learning this language. So I'm also learning at the same time. I'm taking out what I want, put it into something else, modding it to the way I want it and the way that we discuss on how we want it and what we want it to do. Let me see.
On that side note too, given the conversation with Jimmy Chu of the Substrate Network, I'm going to take on the fun task of learning the programming language Rust alongside with Repo. So I'm probably going to start off with the Rust for Dummies and work my way up from there. But me and Repo were discussing, it's actually Repo's idea, so I'm giving him the credit for it. The more people that can interact with the chain, the better, because the way the chain is set up, and Repo made a small note about it earlier with the parachains. Parachains, think of it as a sister or if you did prime number is like P1 or P2. It's literally a copy of the chain, and then you take a splice of that and then you run it, and then you put your spice on that forever which way. The more people that can help build that, the stronger the network, because you're gonna find more bugs to tweak. You're gonna find the best emission cycle. So whatever the best fee scheduling is, someone's gonna find it. It could be us, it could be you, it could be the guy 10 years from now. But
yeah, we could sit there and change that on the fly in the runtime. That's another good thing, is like if we run into something like a small runtime error, we can fix it on the fly. We just have to do a sudo palette, bam, update it.
No hard forks, no soft forks, no cold patches, no hot patches. The same way you get an update on your phone for your apps, it'd be the same way for the wallet and for the chain. Me, you guys will point that out. Me and Repo and anyone else we bring on will be like, oh, that makes sense. We'll go to the GitHub, insert the codes, I will fix it. And then in real time, or in runtime, better said, those implementations will set up for the next set of blocks. So it's, I'm not saying it's the best chain, because when you make declarative statements, they tend to make you look like an idiot. But compared to chains that myself and Repo have looked at in the past and have used in the past, it's very, 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 very friendly from the standpoint of people like us that are coming from zero and are looking to find the most cost-effective, asset-effective, and more importantly, user-friendly in the sense of you make a mistake, it's okay. It's not a detriment. Like if you did like a hard fork, for example, with any PIVX or Bitcoin or Litecoin chain, you pretty much, if you're on an exchange, you need to pay for a maintenance fee and a wallet fee. And most times, if it's really bad, you have to pay for a relisting.
Yeah.
Like this will allow us to have, if we make a mistake, which I'm not trying to make mistakes, but mistakes do occur, it's fixable without having to cost us an arm and a leg each and every time we make a mistake. So I think that's cool.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's very, like it's the most amazing code, and I suggest if you guys want to help, the best way to help us is learn Rust along with us, so that way we can get the more of a community engagement. So it's, instead of just, me or doing it or just Fernando doing it, this way we could grow the community a lot more and get more engaged. Because if you saw the Substrate community, oh my God, you got thousands, you got like 1,300 people in there talking, engaging, and sharing codes. Okay, I have this problem. How do I fix it? Oh, send me the link to your GitHub and let me look at it. Oh man, they'll sit there and comment and help you and fix you. It's great. And I think we need to get to that, at least a little bit, instead of, having like a, oh, it's broken, go and do that. We need to be more open, more friendly.
And this needs to be more decentralized that way. So you can't say, oh, me and Repo are holding the chain hostage. If the GitHub gets to a point where the commits are in the hundreds and hopefully in the thousands, it's a we problem. It's not a us problem.
Right.
That's a good thing, because that means that it's not a 3-headed Hydra. It's a 1,000-head Hydra. And you got, obviously at that point, you're a very tough enemy to take out. And that helps, prevents, hacks, leaks, people trying to take us over. And it keeps even the trading asset value high, because transactions lead to volume. Volume leads to price action, and it tends to show a more positive correlation. The more we can do on this end, the more positive the price action is. Then obviously there's going to be people who come in that just chasing charts. But when they chase the charts and they come to see what's the next move to get their next 5, 10% or 5x, 10x, they're going to see the community. And like Repo was saying, we can just capture a slice of what the Substrate community is able to do with I don't need to have 1,300 members, but just the activity alone, the engagements, and the amount of input and feedback, there's no reason why with our market cap, the way we're distributed, the way wallets have been set up, why we can't trade a couple $1,000s a day, maybe a couple tens of $1,000s a day at, anywhere between a tenth through, half a cent. There's just no reason why we can't. The ability is there, the math is there, the spirit is there, the assets are there. Obviously, we're just stringing it all together. So.
All right, and the current chain update. What you can see in the GitHub comments, I've been adding the reward structure and I've been adding the fee structure. Right now, I got the fee structure where it depends on the size of the transaction. So it goes by bytes, depending on, if you have 1 byte equals, 1 substat or whatever you want to call it. And so the fee depends on the size of the transaction. We could adjust that, say we could do feeless transactions, zero fee transactions, but that will leave us vulnerable to attacks, to double sends, double spins, whatever you want to call them.
Well, with feeless, it'll be X sends because they can send multiple ones without having to and cause a split because of all the orphan blocks they would cause.
Right. And then, they would also, they'd be they would be able to send it so fast and they might overspend on what they have. So that would leave us open. So we won't do a zero fee
transaction fee.
Yeah, transaction fee. We got to have something to keep it secure, just to let you know. But we can adjust it. We can make it fixed if we wanted to. But I think this would probably end up being the best. So that way, if you have a very small transaction size, that will depend on how much you pay. If you have a very big one, saying you're uploading a DApp or something like that, you'll end up paying more in fees, in which I think that's fair. Yeah. So
we're going to charge you $27 to send $5 assets.
Yeah.
It scales with the transaction. That's what we're trying to. So very much so an adjustable rate. Now, again, it's not a perfect science. So if you guys are seeing transactions are getting too expensive, say something. We can adjust it.
Yes. And also the reward structure. This is going to be a staking chain. I'm not doing POW. We're not just doing it where you don't get rewards per block. I am making it where you do get a reward. But this is also, I'm making it where the weight of your wallet depends on the reward and how many times you get a reward that day or within a week or whatever the case may be. So the more you hold, the heavier your wallet is. One thing I still got to look into is I don't want exchanges that have their wallets to be the only one staking because they have the heaviest wallet. So one thing I'm going to have to code is I'm going to have the exchange, any exchanges, I'm going to have their wallet addresses. So that way I could try to make it where they don't stake because they would end up taking the whole chain basically. So that's something I'm going to have to get with the Substrate community on that when I get to that point. If you can think of anything else, drop me a line. Any suggestions, drop a line so that way I could, once I get to that point, I could start looking and digging into that.
The one thing I will say, this is one of those lines, we are also looking at the pool operators. So similar to Cardano, for those guys who have smaller wallet quantities, if they want to somehow not merge, because I don't like that's not really what's happening, but they want to collaborate and make their total assets be seen as one master node of wallets, they can gain a higher staking weight on the chain. Therefore, their reward frequency can go up. They will have to split set of rewards, obviously, among the staking weights among the master node of wallets, but they will have a better chance together than as individuals. Again, this is not to make a penalty system towards whales, but rather think of it as a...
It is more fair and balanced.
Yeah, think of it as a and I don't want to use this word negatively, like a welfare style system for the smaller wallets that are not yet committed to the chain, and they want still a way to contribute. Because remember, every time you stake, you're just validating slash minting the next consecutive block. So the more of that we have, that means more transactions are happening, the more stable the chain. So we want that. We want everyone to be involved in some capacity, but we're not going to penalize our whales or our people who have more active, larger wallets, because obviously they're the ones
Right.
they're contributing more assets, more value. And that,
Yeah. Even if you're a whale and you have a shit ton of coins, the exchange is always going to beat you no matter what. So that's where we got to fix that problem, because exchanges will stake their coins and they will keep those coins for themselves majority of the time. So, and we don't want that. That's just a waste of coins. That is super hyperinflation, as far as I'm concerned.
yeah.
So
is that everything you got on your notepad?
Yeah, there's a bunch of little things, but I'm not really going to touch on the other stuff as of yet.
So I'm going to close with this talking piece. In regards to timeline, one thing we've learned from the past is when we issue timelines, even if we deliver, a lot of times we have to rush. And that's just the truth. And then obviously the history is there. I'm not going to go over the negatives. But in the past, with the previous projects, there's been delays or, delivered, past due. So the way myself and Repo and the other key members are looking at it, we're trying to push what we can, when we can, how we can, within a reasonable time frame, given the resources at the time and season. So in a perfect world, and Repo, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in a perfect world, we'll have everything you see in the web within the next 24 to 36 months. In a perfect world.
Yeah, in a perfect world. Yeah, because we got a lot of stuff, and also, we have day jobs, we have families that we got to take care of. So, and we have our own lives. So, I wish we could donate all day to it. Oh, dude, that would be so awesome if we could sit there and do this, as our day job. Yeah. But it doesn't pay. We're the one that's paying, basically. So, we got a lot of big stuff ahead. So just stay with us on this journey. And man,
I will say though, we do have things in order that if a couple key notes do fall into play, like the chat, for example, that decentralized chat platform, that can be out as early as 2 weeks from now. So it just depends. We have certain like smaller items, smaller use cases that will fill up the gaps. So we're not gonna just leave you guys in the dark with nothing. But when you want to see the big picture, everything out in full force, all pistons, obviously working, it's gonna be a longer timeline. It's gonna be, like I said, in a perfect world, it'd be 24, right, 36 months. And in a perfect world that we live in, it could be 5 years before you see every single item out, synced up, in perfect unison, and little to no bugs. But you will see little things along the way. Trading is not going to take 5 years. Trading is going to take, technically speaking, trading is already active. But, trading will be very, very short. It's already synced up to the separate decks, but we'll talk about that next week. And there's a lot of little things. So you guys will always have some sort of progression. And these videos that we do for you guys, obviously, will vary in length. Sometimes they'll be short, sometimes they'll be long, sometimes they'll be in between. And sometimes we'll show you guys stuff that we want to show you guys. Sometimes it'll be just like this. We're just talking to you, going over talking points that we have from just code developments that are just that. I can't show you lines of code because some of you guys don't know what the hell you're looking at. So I just hope that you guys appreciate this video. As always, feedback is always king. Be in the Discord or the YouTube comments. If anything, you don't feel comfortable talking in the public space, you can always DM myself a Repo, or you can reach out to CryptoQueen/Amy. She has been an amazing mediator for myself and Repo, and
amen. Yeah,
sure that we stay on top of things. So 1,000 thanks to her. And obviously, 1,000 thanks to you guys for watching, liking, and giving us feedback. All the comments, they mean something. We appreciate it. We really, really do. Not just the YouTube comments, but like the Discord chats as well. So hopefully, not the next update, but maybe the next update after that one, we can have the feedback happening in our own chat, not Discord.
Yeah.
Just something to look forward to. So with that, I hope you guys have a great Friday afternoon or Saturday morning if you're watching this in Europe. And I hope that your weekend is a great one. I hope you guys rest up. Again, look forward to your feedback. Know that we love you. Take care. Be blessed. And do good to others so others can do good to you.
Hey, give us that thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. God bless and have a great weekend. Love y'all.